Hi Pisces, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to general messages for the 8th to the 14th of August. Let's get right into things. So you have some help coming in for you in your 6th house of health. So it has to do with health, mental, physical, emotional. It also has to do with your day-to-day work environment, who you work with, who you work for, your location, all of that. It also has to do with your pets. So this new moon in Leo is going to be sitting conjunct with the sun in that 6th house. Mercury's going to be hanging out with them from like the 8th until like late into the 10th. And then on the 11th, Mercury goes into your 7th house to hang out with Mars and Venus. So it'll be Mars, Venus, and Mercury all in Virgo, all in that 7th house of relationships, marriage, contracts, business partnerships. Lots and lots of busy communication going on in that area for you, Pisces, for sure. But we like that the helper energy is coming into the 6th house with a great space to get some help in, especially if you've been struggling with any kind of anxiety, depression, any sort of physical ailments, anything having to do with your pets, anything having to do with your day-to-day work environment experience. Really nice energy. So let's see what's going to be coming through. Let's throw some oracles down, and then just to kind of get a lay of the land, and then we'll go into some general messages. Then I'll go into relationship, and I'll pull some extra cards at the end for those of you in separation. I did an extended love read a few days ago, I feel like less than a week ago, for the month of August for singles, couples, and those of you in a complicated situation. So let's see. So we have soulmate to the sea, love, rejection. Okay, Pisces. Might have been some rejection because something was not for you. That could be a relationship. That could be a job situation. Rejuvenate. Reach for the stars. Raise your vibration. All right, so it's time to heal. It's time to get over some stuff here, Pisces. Time to get over some stuff. Yes. So you may have been dealing with a situation that was hella full of lessons, right? Whether it was a relationship, job situation, some sort of family situation, friendship, something like that. Right? We have clarifying that to the sea. So right now there's really nothing you could do. It's just to kind of sit in the moment. You don't want to hyper-focus on the past. You don't want to rush to like headstrong into the future. This is a time really for you to process. This is a really good energy for you to process in, especially because Saturn and Jupiter retrograde is sitting in Aquarius in your home, in your 12th house, which has to do with, endings and your subconscious and closure. So it's like you're doing this sort of like, I want to say this kind of like slow healing, with this energy. That's really kind of what I'm feeling for you right now. And it's through that sort of not doing anything that you're going to be able to sort of naturally evolve into this space of rejuvenating yourself, of rejuvenating whatever it is that's been troubling you. What does rejuvenate mean? It means to feel alive again. So, you might be feeling very stagnant, very stuck, very just sort of behind the ball when it comes to a particular circumstance in your life. And really looking at the lessons, though, that you learned. I mean, when we have the soulmate energy with To the Sea, sit with it, Pisces. Sit with it and really be very honest with yourself about what went on, what you allowed, where they didn't show up, where you didn't show up, where something went wrong. Look for common denominators. Look for the cycles in the experience. What was always going on? Maybe there were many different cycles going on, right? It could be that. So then we have the idea of love, though. We have love, we have peace, we have reach for the stars. So we have, because love is sort of central between soulmate rejection, I do feel like there's this recognition that something needs to get past. Something that you very much loved, whether it was a person, whether it was a friend, whether it was some sort of family situation, maybe a job that you loved, whatever it is, there was some sort of rejection involved. And there's this need to actually sit with it, look for the lessons, and find peace. And with the reach for the stars energy, I like this for you because this is thinking big, and you have Saturn and Jupiter retrograde in that 12th house, again, which is your house of where you can limit yourself, of where you have limited beliefs. So this is about expanding your belief system right now. It really is. Part of your work right now is recognizing cycles and look at where you've been limiting yourself. So we have this idea of rejection being clarified by not for you. Obviously it wasn't for you, even if it's something that you wanted to work, but it didn't work because at the end of the day, maybe you were just meant to learn the lessons, right? The reason, and the, you know, people being in our life for a reason and a season, and often not a lifetime, because we're meant to learn lessons in the soulmate energy. And maybe the lessons have been learned, you know, and something needs to be released, and it's time for you to focus on raising your vibration. And I like that you're getting that, like, this is a very sort of like focus on your emotional health, focus on your physical health. I mean, the body-mind connection is, you know, we can't deny that there's a direct connection between those, but really doing some beautiful, beautiful work on yourself, and it's just going to sort of like flower out. Sort of getting very like a 9 of Pentacles energy, right? Where it's like doing some really great work on yourself, getting really, really solid and healthy in your own sense of self, your own space, and then calling a beautiful connection towards you as a result of that. It's like the energy that you call towards you is going to be more in alignment with what it is that you bring to the table, but make sure that you're functioning from a very, very honest space. And that's really difficult. This is not about, you know, recognizing the beautiful aspects within yourself, but also being really honest about your shadow side. Being really embraced. Like if you don't know your Black Moon Lilith, look it up and figure it out. Right? You have to look at the placement and the house, right? Looking at your nodal energies. Where are you in the nodal energies? You know, where are you? Do you happen to be a Sagittarius South Node, Gemini North Node? Are you in the middle of your nodal return? Are you a South Node Scorpio, North Node Taurus? Are you preparing for your nodal return coming January? That's going to deeply impact your energies. If not, where is Sagittarius falling in your chart? Because you're being asked to make some big changes in that particular area. And for you guys, it has to do with your 10th house, which really rules your long-term goals, Pisces. So there's this releasing that needs to go on. Maybe something that you had your sights set on, but there needs to be the shift. But I cannot tell you the healthy energy that I'm getting, as far as even if you're upset right now, or even if something is a little bit of a challenge for you to navigate through, this is like building blocks to a better place. It is. You have to understand that. So very nice energy. I do feel like, despite the fact that there may be some pain involved, and that's just the way life goes. Nothing is ever 100%, you know, one end of the spectrum or the other, right? Mix of things. And what I do like, though, and I have to say, and I haven't been saying this in a lot of the videos, wherever your Uranus energy is hanging out, for you guys it happens, it's in Taurus for everybody, but for you it happens to be hanging out in your 3rd house of mind, thinking, communication, your neighbors, your neighborhood, learning new things, all modes of communication, right? So there are a lot of challenges there. Uranus could be very unsettling energy because it's like shocking surprises come in to push you into the future. And why I'm liking this full moon energy in your 6th house is because there's going to be some help having to do with, so if you've been really stuck in maybe communicating and putting yourself out there, or finalizing some sort of agreement, or if you've been having a hard time looking at something differently, if you've been having a hard time with your siblings, if you've been having a weird time in your neighborhood, anything like that, this energy is going to bring in a lot of help for the next month. So I really like that. Also, those of you who've been struggling in that subconscious mind of letting go, of releasing something, that Uranus energy is there, but it's sitting across from this gift. So this new moon Leo energy is just so lovely, and it's going to just be really sprinkling your, not only your 6th house, but your 12th house and your 3rd house as well. So I think it's just going to be very helpful in being able to get past stuff, you know. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it's going to be helpful. You're going to feel a lot more supportive. In other words, like if you've been having a hard time up to this point recognizing that something didn't work out because it hasn't been meant to work out, but you still, you know, deeply missing a person, or deeply missing being in a situation, whatever it is, a family member, whatever it is, now this energy allows you to say, okay, you know what? It's too bad it didn't happen, but I'm really going to hold on to those lessons, and I'm going to move forward with my life now, right? Very nice energy. I think. It does seem like is what I'm getting here. So Knight of Swords energy. So some sort of truth came out that you were not expecting. does seem like. Okay, it's Knight of Swords energies, expect the unexpected. So this could be unpredictable roller coaster energy where some sort of sudden truth comes out. Underlying conflicts can be exposed here. For some of you, this could be a relief. For others of you, this could be really confusing, depending on what your situation is. But whatever it is, wait for your energy to settle a little bit. Don't make any big decisions here. Just make sure you're not making any sort of big decisions. Clarifying that, we have the Four of Swords. So it's like this information comes in an area like, okay, I need to take a step back and I need to get perspective. Great energy for doing shadow work, therapy, anything like that. But you're in the space of trying to figure out, okay, now what? Now how am I going to move forward in this situation? Now that I found out about this truth. So Page of Pentacles, some of you are going to be deciding to get a new job. Some of you are going to be really just looking at, this is very progressing forward, right? This is very auspicious energy for new beginnings. This could have to do with finances, new beginnings in an offer made on a property, education, mental, physical, emotional connection, anything like that. So make sure you're paying attention to your finances. But this is also recognizing that you're sort of setting up for a very busy period for yourself, moving forward into a very hardworking time of your life. But there's a strong potential for success. And that's being clarified by the Hierophant. So Hierophant is a Taurus energy. So, I mean, I do like this. You have a lot of healing going on in that Taurus energy. Second house, that's with Chiron's retrograde in Aries until December 28th for you. So, so some of you may be, if you found out something shocking and you're sort of like dealing with it on a personal level, you may very much be throwing yourself into work or focusing on other things right now, okay? Because that is the Hierophant energy, being that Taurus, that bull energy in that second house of money, work, income, daily routines, possessions, habits, all of that stuff. So you could certainly be doing that, throwing yourself into that. Others of you are in the space of focusing on celebrating the sacred within a relationship. So you'll be very focused on the idea of marriage, getting married, or on your marriage, or a very important relationship. You don't have to be married, okay? It doesn't have to be that. But at the bottom line, under all of this, whatever it is, there's this energy of expectation and the need to conform to something. They need to conform. And it's about progression forward. So especially if this has to do with career or money, it's a lot of progress forward in work decisions, direction, anything like that. So focusing on very much like moving forward. But also at the same time, I do want to say it's also trying to find balance within yourself, right? Because in numerology, the Hierophant is the temperance energy. And the temperance is all about moderation, reconciling with certain things, cooperation. Some of you may be in a space where you very much want to have a new start over with somebody in a relationship, but you may not, you may be not able to. Like you want to, but you're not able to. Going back to that rejection energy. Maybe they moved on, maybe they've moved, maybe they're not in a situation where you guys can work it out right now, whatever the case is. So then we have the Lover's energy, which is always Gemini energy, which is about the need to make a choice. So if this has to do with a money or work situation, making the choice, there's choices, right? So one option might seem easier, but you have to look closer to make sure that it's the best thing in the long run. Like, in other words, don't make it all about the money, or don't make it all about like how the position sounds or anything like that, right? You want to make sure that it's the best thing for you in the long run. So this is going to involve getting your heart involved in something, right? If it has to do with money or career. If this has to do with a relationship, first of all, for those of you who are single, this is an energy that says love yourself first, really, to release any blocks so that you can manifest the right relationship when the time is right. If you're partnered, a love decision is needed. And it really is about recognizing, are you both equally willing and both equally in it to work on the foundation of this connection, right? And if you're in a complicated situation, look at the patterns. Right? And see if you can't get a particular perspective on what is really going on, getting to the core of it. Because if you can, Archangel Raphael blesses this. So does the luminary of the sun. And then you could also have a strong foundation. Very nice. And this is the honeymoon energy. For some of you, this could be a new partner opening up their hearts, expressing their love and affection. For others of you, this could be elevating your relationship to a space where you feel a very strong sense of foundation, like you're in the right space. But we have the star energy, which is very interesting to me because, first of all, awesome for money. Excellent money luck card. You know, work that you do begins to pay off because you've been considering your long-term plans, prioritizing well, you know what I mean? So some of you might be pushed to start a new business, really kind of explore a hidden talent that you kind of thinking you might have, but you're not sure, but putting that to good use. There's an elevation when it comes to your area of work. When it comes to your relationships, this indicates you're destined to be with somebody, right? And it's time, if you haven't found that person, it's time to find somebody if you've been keeping yourself very closed off. Because this is an energy that indicates a change for the better after a difficult time. This is an energy of hope and guidance. And in numerology, the star is the strength card. So the strength is all about balance. Finding balance in a situation. Balancing out a situation. And we have the 7 of coins in the reverse, which is this energy of giving up too soon and not putting the work into something. So giving up too soon on a relationship, an idea, a project, feeling like, what's the point? I'm not even going to bother with this. I'm not. So some of you might be in this space where it's like you really want a relationship to work out and you give it a go and they reject you and you're like, you know that they have every reason in the world, this is going to be for some of you, every reason in the world to reject you, and they do, and you don't bother trying to explain yourself, nothing like that, right? So that could be an energy of giving up too soon, or somebody might be doing that to you. That's how some of you can resonate with it. Others of you, you might be in the space where you're in this work situation, and you're like, I don't know, you know, I feel like I could have a lot of success here, but I feel like I'm not really resonating with it right now. So maybe you leaving, like you're giving up on it too soon. You're not giving something a fair shake. So, you know, if whatever's working on your life right now, make sure you just don't too flippantly give up on it too soon, and be very hypersensitive to anybody where you feel like somebody else might be giving up too soon, right? Without exploring something a little more deeply. Because then we have the Queen of Cups, which is Gemini and Cancer energy, and astrology, which is having a conversation about what's necessary to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure in something. So this is an energy of high emotional intelligence, where there's a lot of emotional honesty, not afraid of intimacy, all of that, like all the unhealthy, yucky stuff is sort of not a thing. And I'm not only talking about with intimate relationships. This could even go for a friendship, family situation, where everybody's just sort of being really sitting down and being really honest with each other, where it's the kind of thing where it's like, what's the point in not? Truly. Where does ego, where does all that stuff get us? Absolutely nowhere. It just creates energetic blocks. So this is the kind of energy where it's like, all right, let's just sit down and let's just be honest, right? We have this working with the 8 of Wands. This is good news coming in, lots of busy communication. And this is great if you've been feeling stuck or held back waiting for a decision, right? Definitely great news for those of you who've been separated, right? And then we have the 3 of Cups energy, very abundant, circle of support, lots of healing going on here. 3 is the number of creation. Excellent energy too if you're meeting somebody new. This is a great energy if you're needing to have like a meeting of the minds with like in a business situation. Very nice energy. Just make sure you're not partying too hard there. And then we have the 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups is nostalgic, feeling very nostalgic about the past. Wanting very much to reconcile, maybe reconnecting with somebody from your past in a way where you're really looking to find that balance in the relationship, especially if you feel like you've suffered mistreatment in the past, or if you recognize that they have suffered mistreatment of something in the past, and things being remedied. And again, this could have to do with an intimate relationship, a friendship, a family situation, anything like that. But this is an energy of harmony. So it's nice. It's very nice energy. So, all right, so that's what I have for this sort of like the general messages right now. Let's go more specific into for relationship. For those of you who are interested in relationship, anything like that, you're in a relationship. Let's see what comes up. Page of Cups, King of Wands, 7 of Cups, 2 of Cups, okay. So we have the Page of Cups, personification of water. So this is really good news coming in about an emotional aspect of your life, right? I mean, this could have to do with love being offered from somebody new. But Page also indicates a new cycle. So maybe you're in a relationship and you find something out that is really positive, that's going to bring you to the next space. So this could be maybe an offer coming in to move, to get married, to move in together, have a baby, do something together, go on vacation, even anything that's going to really speak to your heart space. Those of you who are single, though, this is like a new potential partner sort of lingering around. Don't let this King of Wands energy get in your way. King of Wands is a good energy. This is like being a free spirit sort of thing, Cancer and Leo. And you really want to express yourself. You want to go after what it is that you want. I feel like for a lot of you, Pisces, you're very sort of decided in what it is that you want in relationship, and you're just ready to go for that. Don't allow the idea of perfectionism to get in the way, because that can whip around and bite you in the ass later on. Meaning, you're perfect the way you are. Don't try to present yourself as anything other than exactly who you are, and have your spidey senses on for anyone who's trying to present themselves as anything other than they are. As this really does need to be a period of just flippin' honesty. With Scorpio in your 9th house, Scorpio is all about transformation, endings and beginnings, right? When it has to do with that 9th house, it has to do with your personal philosophy. You're doing a lot of changing right now, and because the 9th house has to do with honesty, wherever you're going to be very hyper focused on honesty. And if by chance, because there's a lot of karmic energy that's associated with Scorpio as well, and Jupiter rules the 9th house, those two together, there's a lot of karma being drawn up. It's not going to go well for you if you're dishonest in any way. And I'm not even talking about like maliciously lying. Make sure you present, if you're meeting somebody new, or even if you're not, make sure you're speaking God's truth. You know what I mean? Like absolute truth. Don't try to present anything other than it is, because you're perfect the way you are, and so are they. So nobody needs to have any airs or any like nonsense like that. And again, when we're talking about the King of Wands, it's this energy where I want to express myself. I want to say what I mean, but it's like, oh, am I enough? Oh, am I good enough? Oh, what about that? So let me act like that's not a thing. Let me not even tell them about that thing. Let me not, you know what I mean? So you want to be very, very careful there. Very careful. Because it's very interesting, because we don't talk about this enough, but the King of Wands, well, it's a very free spirit in all of this, there could be this element of ego mixed with vulnerability, which actually fear and vulnerability are always at the core of shadow manifestation of ego, but you guys get what I mean. But there is this idea of 7 of Cups in the near future of choices and confusion, commitment issues. Not sure what's fantasy, what's not. Things feel very up in the air to you. You feel like you're starting this next phase of your life with relationship. So this could be together with your partner. Maybe you guys are moving, you're doing something like that. This could be you feel like it's the beginning of the end in a relationship, something like that, right? Something like that. And really, this is a call to pay very close attention to your instincts and your emotions, right? Because this is a Venus and Scorpio energy. But it's just like either you or somebody that you're dealing with is having a very hard time committing to something. There's a lot of confusion here. There's a lot of confusion. Now, the advice is the 2 of Cups energy, which is a mutually supportive energy. This is Venus and Cancer. For some of you, this is about a new relationship, right? The advice is get into a new relationship. For others of you, this is about finding harmony if things are difficult right now, really nurturing the relationship. But the core of both of these are something that's mutually supportive. And it's only through really good conversation and an equitable approach to something. What I mean by that is, like, 2 of Cups always resonates with me as a conversation, right? And when we have the Venus energy, infusing this too, which we do, right, again, because it is a Venus and Cancer energy. It's always like, how am I feeling emotionally? Is this a win-win situation? Is everybody needs me met? Like, how do I feel in this situation? And having the conversation about all of that. Even having the conversation about money, the icky conversation about money and what matters to each of you. All of those things. Everything should be put on the table. That is the advice here. It's coming from a completely honest space, raw, open chest, open all of it, really. And then we have the Seven of Wands energy, external, other, coming in, feeling very, very defensive. And them, their personal philosophy and their moral code being very important to them. Very important to them. And they're saying, like, this is the line in the sand. I can do this. I can't do that. Now, this is the energy external. This is others. But this is also the energy that's external to you. So you may be sort of feeling in this sort of, you may just feel your energy is sort of layered with this vibe of defensiveness. But you want to make sure, you just want to look at what's under that, right? Because this is a Mars and Leo energy, let's be fair. Or you may be not wanting to look at the full truth of something because it like makes your ego feel a little uncomfortable, and you have that warrior spirit in you, and you're like, no, this is what I believe, this is what. You want to make sure that you're not getting in your own way here. You want to make sure somebody else isn't either, right? You don't want to deal with anybody's ego, not even your own right now. It's just, in relationship, do it in work if you have to, whatever. But in relationship, it's just not going to serve you right now. It's just not. But you're having a very hard time. Your challenge here is some sort of proposal. This is the challenge, right? So there might be an energy here of unrealistic expectations, of deep fear, of coming forward and putting yourself out there to somebody, of going after an energy in relationship that you feel like you're not done with them yet, right? That kind of thing. This could be like, let's say you're in a relationship already, but the challenge here is this block of this new offer, right? So this could be, let's get married, let's move in together, whatever it is, that's that block. You're having a very hard time leveling something up because I feel like you're not very ready for it. Some of you also may be in the space where you're meeting somebody, okay, or you're in communication with somebody and everything seems really pretty perfect, right? But that person or you may be stuck behind a little bit of a false persona. You got to be careful if they're not able, or you're not able to drop the act of who you really are, only because in this energy there is a call for real. And also be very hyper vigilant on something that seems too good to be true. You don't want to come off as that, and you need to be very sensitive about anybody else who's coming on. Even if you guys have been together for years and years, if your partner's sitting down and saying, no, 100%, I know things have been challenging, let's do this, it's going to be great, lots of lip service involved in that, you want to be very careful and don't hang on to anything that's said in this energy. Be very sort of like flexible. When I say flexible, I mean don't say you're lying, or don't say, but you promise kind of thing. Say, all right, in this energy, it seems like either you or somebody else is trying to figure themselves out. So just be open and listen, but don't take everything with a grain of salt in this energy. It does seem like, and that's going to be hard for you though. It's going to be very hard. That Knight of Cups energy, that proposal coming in, you may be having a hard time showing up as that. You may be having a hard time just getting out there and meeting somebody new. Maybe you're not ready. It's all right. Give yourself a break. You know, maybe you're not ready for anything serious and you just want to go play the field. Knight of Wands, you know. Maybe that's Scorpio and Sagittarius. Maybe you just want to play it around a little bit. Or your challenge can be somebody coming off as being very perfect, but at the end of the day, they may be a little bit of a player energy. You want to be careful. That's all. It's, you know, this, because you could be meeting, if this is somebody that you're meeting, lots of stories to tell, all of this, very charismatic, very talkative, all of that. But, you know, with that Scorpio wand energy as well, you just want to be careful there, okay, for some of you. For others of you, let's say you're in a relationship and whatever, and you guys are trying to figure something out, events speeding up, blocks being lifted, decisions coming in an area that you might be waiting to move forward in. So maybe you guys as a couple, you're trying to figure out, okay, hey, maybe we could finally get married where we want, right? Because the COVID restrictions being lifted, or we're going to move, or we're going to have a baby, or we're going to do something, right? But there is this energy of like moving forward. Whenever Sagittarius is in the house, it's always this energy about moving forward, but it's something new because Scorpio's there. There's some sort of transition, some sort of transformation that's going on. Which I like. But the Knight of Wands, because it's Scorpio and Sagittarius, this is very much the energy that you're in right now in your 9th house. So I do feel like a lot of you are maybe thinking about moving. You know, you guys might be talking about that in your relationship, or just within yourself, within relationship. You feel like you're changing. Scorpio and Sagittarius is there's this changing in your personal philosophy about how relationships should be, like, kind of be run. For you, you know, for you. Subjective. Two of Swords. 4. 8 of Cups. Yeah, nice. Okay. So, Two of Swords, emotional stalemate energy. You need to make a decision here. You need to make a decision. You want to protect yourself, but the situation's not going away. Just say it's swords. So communicate whatever it is, you know, because it's air, communication, truth. Say what you think, say what you know, whatever it is, say what you have to say, because a decision about the future is needed. And if you feel like you still have something to say to somebody, just get it off your chest, because it's just going to grow fangs and wings, you know. It's going to be entrenched in you. And then we have the Fool. Some of you are going to be like, look, I want to do things differently in this relationship. I want to just, like, let's just start fresh. Others of you are like, okay, I'm feeling kind of in this emotional stalemate because I'm not totally out of this energy, but I know I need to just move on and meet somebody new. 8 of Cups energy, sadness but no regret, knowing it's time to leave. Something doesn't feel right. It's time to move on. Sadness here. Sadness. You got, you know, you might have even left a situation emotionally already. It's time to work on yourself, but there's definitely this loss and sadness, feeling like something ended before you felt really ready for it too. But now you're going to move into a space of assessment, shifting everything into a new phase. So for some of you, there's this need for reconciliation if you think the relationship is worthwhile. You know, some of you are going to be in this space where you're assessing everything that's gone on in the relationship up to this point, and you're having the conversation where, like, look, if we're going to work this out, we have to let go of what's gone on up to this point. This is letting go of the past, making a decision about the past, and spiritually waking up. So I feel like something's going on here for a lot of you where you're sort of having this emotional awakening, okay? Now, if you're not experiencing that and you guys have been together for a long time, you guys as a couple, you might be making a decision about a property, okay? That could be going on here. But then we have the Tower, and the Tower is about destruction and enlightenment. This is a Mars energy. So something that hasn't been working for you. You've been looking at the red flags, you know. And now it's time for this, like, necessary surrender. This realization, this secret, something that you didn't know comes to light. And even though it's shocking, it's time to let go. It's time to let go of past patterns of relating. It's time to let go of the way something was. It's going to feel abrupt in the moment. It can be that, okay, for a lot of you. Others of you, if you're resonating with this as the move thing, this can indicate a property that you hope to move into ends up not materializing, and that your relationship is fine, but that thing falls apart. So for some of you, it could be that. But that is the Tower energy. You know, Mars pulls down what's not working for us, at least in the way that it was. At least in the way that it was. It can't. Now we have the King of Swords, you know, coming in and saying, all right, it's time to be totally logical and not emotional in order to get a grip on the situation right now. And that's being clarified by the Four of Wands. So some of you may be meeting a new partner who's going to be very open-hearted, very expressive in their emotions. For others of you, you're leveling up your relationship. This is an energy of a honeymoon. It's a very celebratory vibe. Homecoming energy as well. that kind of thing, feeling at home. But then that's being clarified by the Eight of Wands, not but yay. I mean, this is really great. This is great news about love, especially if you've been separated, if you've been feeling held back, if you've been feeling blocked in the area of relationship. You're not really feeling that anymore. And what I like about the Eight of Coins is this energy of mastery. Sun in Virgo, there's this focus on the health of relationship in your life. Problem-solving energy. Focusing on responsibilities in a very diligent, very hardworking way. There's a need for a very logical and diligent approach to relationship right now. Because it's a number, when I say it's the number of mastery, it's kind of like that slow and steady wins the race sort of thing. Building blocks, you know, not trying to put all your eggs in one basket, trying to get like a very healthy perspective of the situation. So that's what I see in the area of relationship for you guys. Okay, and now let's pull for those of you who are in separation. Pisces in separation. Now this could be towards you, you towards them, you guys towards each other. Obviously, it's going to depend on your particular situation. Definitely emotions here. Wow. So we have I see your smiling face in my mind's eye. And that's being clarified by stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, flexibility. So something that didn't work in your life was, when you were in it, something you felt very secure in, or you were that for them. It really could be, or you were that for each other. Or then we have, I'm now feeling the fallout of my actions. So you're going to know if that's something that you did, or perhaps something that they did. Time passes, but my feelings don't change, even though you no longer trust me with your heart. Acts, breakup, separation, stopping the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment. That's being clarified by, I messed up big time. And then we have, I'm working on myself so I can give you the love and relationship you deserve. And then we have keys on a ring, many options, unconventional string along, one night stand. I love you, but I'm afraid to lose my freedom. I don't know how to balance this. So you may have been dealing with somebody with commitment issues, who always kind of needed a release valve, knowing at least psychologically. So you might have been like that, Pisces, as well. I don't know you and what's aspecting your chart, where you may have wanted that energy, but for some reason it would get to a point where the relationship would get to a certain point, and it would feel very, very scary. So you can pull away, or they did, right? That energy of like fear in that way. Interesting. Let's pull some tarot and see if we can get some additional messages here for you guys. So we have the Lover's energy, which is really about looking at the cycles, figuring out how this could be fixed. But you both have to be in it 100% in order for there to be happiness. But it does seem like, if that was possible, it does seem like, Pisces, if you were able to do that and they were able to do that, you guys could have this amazing, amazing relationship. Amazing. But then we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. The Knight of Swords in the reverse can be kind of like somebody who's super hot under the collar, dare I say, even like maybe has a violent energy about them, or a hard time regulating their personality, something like that, where there's almost this energy of being deliberately cruel, like very passive aggressive on purpose, that kind of thing. Again, Pisces, this could be you. This could be the energy that you're dealing with. Because though, listen, if this is you, Pisces, first of all, don't take any offense, because you know what I'm saying. Like, there's no shade drawn anywhere. We all have our stuff. But you may have been like really mean because you just wanted to be happy with this person. You know what I mean? It's like, screw you, I didn't need you anyway, you're crazy, you're all of this stuff. Meanwhile, you really love the person, you really want to be with them, right? Because they are this idea of happiness, but maybe they brought something to the table that made you feel super uncomfortable in the moment. And right? And so there ended up being that kind of situation. But we have the Three of Swords in the reverse, which is about apologies and recovering from something. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles working really hard on the relationship. All right, enough said. I mean, that's what we have for this week. It does look like there is a way of fixing something, but there's gonna need to be a lot of dumping the ego in the trash can and having a very open heart, lots of empathy, and that's it. But yeah, not always easy to do, right? It's not. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you for this week. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.